All right. Good morning there. So today, as my microwave goes off, we're going to be watching gold again. Um, Again, we've been in this massive trend. Is there going to come some point where this has some probably huge pullback? Yeah. But we won't really assume we're there yet until we see evidence otherwise, right? And even if this came down to about even if this came down to about here, I'd still be looking for this same setup to long this right here. Okay. And otherwise, I'm just still watching this for a break right here. These are starting to cross. Not our favorite. But if this pumps, that those will kind of do this or this. Right. So yeah, watching that. There's not much. There's CPI today, right? So things can get wacky. We might see a 2% move on ES. We don't know. Action still is choppy. I'm not loving it. Over this, I'd pay attention. Okay. Is it a nice spread out MA environment? No. But there's so much liquidity over here that's been built for 3 weeks that if we start breaking over this, I'm looking for longs. And then oil has been this crazy downtrend. Nice pop. Crazy downtrend. Starting to pop off, right? What could cause some pretty sweet long moves out of here is the fact that A, it's flipping, and B, now look at all this liquidity. There's so much liquidity up here now above all these wicks. So if we get this break, I'm looking for longs. Spreading out EMAs. So something like it just kind of starts doing that. I'm zooming in on a lower time frame, looking for longs. And that's really it. There's not much out there right now, unfortunately. Everything's kind of looking like this. I don't think I looked at the Russell yet. Yeah, I mean, same. Nothing's great. So really just gold, maybe oil, and maybe ES. The CPI is at 830. So it could get wild. Hold on to your hats. All right. Have a great day. All right. CPI data is out. ES took a nice digger. So I'm not really watching ES anymore. I only really was interested if it popped over this. So ES is continuing to be on the do not touch list for me. And gold just rinsed into here. So let me just kind of talk about this. Because kind of so far I've really only mentioned liquidity grabs, etc., which has happened to this low, right? So that's good. So if things kind of just went just below here and then started pushing, I would have loved that. But now we kind of have a little more confluence, right? We have these two grabs and we have this area where this big move originated from. See that? So coming back into here, seeing a big spike in volume and price just push way up again, that's interesting to me. So again, if this trend breaks, this is a confluence point for me. So we're still watching the same thing. We're just watching for this trend to break. But I'm just pointing out that bouncing out of here is it's a demand zone, So it's interesting to me. And then liquidity grab. So continuing to watch, being patient, seeing if we can get something to set up. This honestly might be like a no trade day, but we'll see. All right. So step one of looking for a setup kind of just happened, where price is starting to try to pop over this trend line, right? Now we might see this little consolidation, and I might long over that. You could long right on the break. That's fine too. I've done that. You end up with like a little bit more of a chance that you're going to get rinsed out sometimes. But anyways, we're just watching now to see if an entry comes for us. It'd be cool if we saw this come down, test this, and like respect it. But we'll see. All right. Things are kind of developing here. MAs are spreading. I did take contract over here on one account and a contract off of this on another account. So I'm long one contract in each account, and we're just kind of waiting, and we're just seeing what happens. And we're going to see if we can get over this. And if we get over this, can we, do some kind of consolidation, maybe a small time frame liquidity grab and then another setup, and that's where I'd like to add another, because I don't want to rush into this again like I did yesterday. So we'll see. And on the 5-minute, we are above the MAs. We still want these to curl up and spread out, but we are above, which is a decent start. Anyways, so watching, waiting, taking things slow and easy. All right. As price develops here, just want to point out again, on this small 1-minute time frame, we have a little liquidity grab and a push on this break of a trend line. So this right here is probably an ideal entry. That's good. And then stop right here. You know, look how tight that risk is. That's nice. Right now on this entry and this entry, my stop's down here. So I have like a little bit of a wide one on this one. It's still within my risk parameters, but this is a nice entry right here. If you waited for a little liquidity grab and a break of the trend there. So continuing to watch this. I did not add second contracts in either of these positions yet, so waiting. We'll see what happens on the 5-minute here, and if we can get over previous day's close. I just want to talk about stop losses, stop loss management. So you need to build kind of your own system for how you want to manage stops. Like right now, I'm in the green on both these positions, and there's a low here that I would be cool with putting my stop right here and reducing risk on this position and making this one basically a little over break even. But what I had found in a lot of my testing is when I do that, price sometimes will just come right there and then kind of keep grinding up. So I really wait for price to kind of get to about 4R for me before I start moving stuff to break even and start trailing stuff. That's what I do. I'm not saying you should do that. Many times I get positions that are in the green that just end up in a stop out minus 1R, right? I did it yesterday. If this comes down, I would do it today. But the reason I do that is I just find that overall, when I just kind of give it a little bit of room in the beginning, it tends to work better for me. Okay, so if you're curious where my stop is and why, that's kind of what's going on. I have it down here. But if this gets up here, then I'm going at least here, probably somewhere in here if there's a better low, like even right here. Anytime we see like a low that has some kind of little rinse of another candle and then breaks a high, like we rinsed this low and then broke this high, that's a good spot for a stop, in my opinion. That's how I trail things as they start going up. I would usually do it on a higher time frame if I can, like a 5-minute. But so like, you know, see, this is the same spot. I could put it right there. But I'm going to wait on that for now. What I would love to see here, and I'll explain why. I would love to see this happen. If price just kind of comes down here, just dips below this, and then starts ripping, that would be my favorite. And kind of why is that? Well, if we can do that by breaking over this trend line and then air quotes failing, what we're doing is we end up tricking people into shorting, right? And when you trick people into shorting, that gives you a liquidity point to help you squeeze them, right? So if we can do that again, people will stop out here also because people put their stops there, right? Remember I said I didn't want to move mine up there yet. So if we dip right below this and then rip, that kind of proves to me that, not proves, but gives me another sign that I might be on the right track here and trying along this. All right. Okay. So far, so good. All right. Got a little rinse below. Couple little grabs. This 20 MA, the bodies are kind of respecting it. That's a good sign. We of course want to see this high break and this break here. So still have not added. Still waiting. Still being patient. Trying to be patient because I was a little rushy yesterday. Let's not do that again today. And see if we can get a move. Real move. Also, Trumpy Poo is talking allegedly at maybe 2 today, and Jay Powell is talking testifying around 10. So we're hoping that doesn't mess up our flow here. It might, but onward and upward. Well, apparently whatever Jay Powell's talking about is not great because he started talking already or testifying already. So likely I'm getting stopped out. That's fine. We're testing the 100 MA on the 1 minute. Maybe it'll save us. Probably won't. So this might be another 1R, minus 1R here. We'll see what happens. Oh, a little volume stepping in. That's good. We like that. But still, we'll see. No emotion. Just execute. If you have a system, just execute it. If you get stopped out, that's fine. Just execute. All right. We'll see what happens. Not looking good. When you see like a breakout that fails and then a breakout that fails and then a breakout that fails, that's usually a bad sign. So we'll see. And like the MAs are just starting to just tighten up and everything's starting to kind of lock up and get a little shitty. So things are likely to dump, I would say. Sadly, but we'll see. I mean, I just narrowly escaped death, which is fun. Look how close we got to my stop. This is kind of why I usually give things a little room. People like to put stops on low wicks. Don't do that. Give it a little room so that there's an opportunity for liquidity to be grabbed. Still, this could just come down. Like these MAs look like crap now. The setup's like not great. I mean, if I bump to a 5 minute, it's starting to look a little better there. With Powell's testimony still going on, who knows what will happen. But I am still in this. I'm still in this long. One contract on each account. I have not added. We're still just trying to get above here. So that's my update. Thanks. All right. Finally seeing some movement here. I was not at my desk when this started pushing, so still haven't added. So I'm really only one contract deep on each account, which is fine. I mean, if I don't get the rest of my position in, that's all right. But at this point, I'm just letting it work. If I saw something like price start to consolidate again and then push, I might look for an add. But I'm glad that things are spreading. We're above previous day's close. Just going to kind of let this work and see how it goes. So as I get closer to 4R, I'll move to break even. If we exceed it, I'll kind of start trailing that. And so my targets are kind of like this swing high and this swing high here. That's kind of where I might, wouldn't be surprised if price kind of rejects in either of those points. But ultimately, the goal always when I'm doing something like this is to achieve a new high. Is it likely that that's going to happen before market close? Probably not. So I'm probably going to end up taking kind of not my full target on this, but we'll see. We'll see what the market offers up. All right. So we are popping off a little bit here. So what I just did is I just moved my stop up to here. This is about break even. It's a little above on one of my positions, a little below. But this is where my stop is for now. And until kind of some kind of structure forms in here, I don't really want to move my stop anywhere in here. I want some kind of like, a couple red, purple in this case. I want a couple purple candles to kind of make some sort of structure and then have a high break after that. And then I'll move my stop up. But right now, this isn't, there's no real structure for me to take advantage of. So right now, I'm just pretty much at break even. This is my 4R kind of area up here, where as we cross in, I can start trailing. And I'm liking how it's looking. And I would imagine it'll. And here's exactly kind of where we just rejected from that spot. I was kind of worried about that swing high, but there's a pretty high chance we'll maybe get a little more out of this, have to close it, and then reopen it as futures open for the night session. But this is where we're at. Okay. Thanks. All right. What ended up happening? Let's see. Last video I left off I had moved my stop to break even. We were somewhere around here. I think we were like right there. Things unfortunately did bleed off a little bit, which is fine. I managed to not get stopped out here. Managed to not get stopped out here. That's a little lucky, but listen, that's kind of why you want to give these sorry, it's right here. Give these lows kind of a little bit of room, because this happens a lot where it'll like just touch it. So give your stop your lows a little bit of room. And also, I just want to kind of point out, you don't need to be like I go for larger moves. I'm going for like really 10R whenever I can is really what I'm trying to end up capturing. You know, once I get to 4R, I start trailing. You could have taken this. You know, this is a swing high. This is a great target. Another previous day's close. You know, you could have targeted that and taken that, and that could have been your limit order that just it got hit right there and you're out. And then you just wait for another setup and get back in. That's fine. I don't really trade that way. I like to just capture full moves. You know, I'm looking for price to really deliver up to here. That's kind of more what I'm looking for. But there's no wrong way to do this. You know, I'm just kind of showing you what I do. And what was I gonna do? Right. Okay. So managed to not get stopped out. We come into market close around 4 o'clock here. Futures closed here, but I did take my position off right here, and assumed I'm probably just gonna have to get back in when markets open again at 6 Eastern, right? So close the position. Markets moved up a little bit. That's fine. And just waited for 6 Eastern for markets to open back up and try to pick up my position pretty much where I left off is what I try to do, right? And so I basically essentially did that. You know, I was looking at the 5 minute here, saw we were kind of touching this MA here, went to the 1 minute and just looked for some kind of trend break that I could take an entry on. Saw this little volume candle and this pop over, so I just took my chances. This is such tight risk, dude. This was really tight risk. So I had no problem doing it. Put my stop below here, and I got a little lucky. Ended up working out, right? And now we're trading back over, you know, today's close, okay, and kind of bouncing off it and stuff. So I'm long with kind of full size, luckily, because I had tight risk here. And we're just going to, hopefully, this night session will deliver. But I love that this isn't working out super, super smooth and quick and fast and easy, because when you're getting into trading, especially, you don't realize how patient you have to be. You have to be so patient. And, you know, it's like I took this first time, it didn't work out, right? And I took it the second time, and it was like, it was basically a break even. It was really 1 hour. It was 1 hour. So on these 2 days, I'm break even. That can get really annoying, because there's some times where you're just taking break even, -1, break even, -1, and you feel like you're getting nowhere. But like, that's how you handle that kind of situation is what will kind of make or break you as a trader. You know, you just kind of stick to the strategy and be patient and just keep executing, and eventually, you know, you end up catching a 10R runner or a 7R or even 6, whatever it is. But you just have to remain patient, and eventually the market will deliver you something if you're just sticking to your strategy, right? And that's what this is all about, you know. Again, I know I've done this before, but the part that makes or breaks traders is when you're going through just like slow, steady drawdown, and you just stick to your strategy, and you end up usually getting a little continuation in your equity curve, right? Because a lot of the times people will start doing this, and they'll either just start strategy hopping. They'll go, screw this strategy, it sucks, and try and find something else right before they were about to start ripping. Or they'll be like, for some reason, I need to size up, so I can just catch a smaller move, and then that'll bring me back. But then they just like, you know, size up and then lose more or whatever. But I'm just pointing out, trading is boring. Trading is often slow, and you often don't get what you want quickly. You have to just wait. You got to be patient. So I'm kind of glad this is playing out this way so that you can see how you have to kind of handle this. All right. So we're long, and we're hoping that this can continue and deliver us a sweet, sweet high. Okay. Thank you. Also, this morning I pointed out CL, right? And I noted that price was starting to create spread out moving averages to the upside, right? So I was potentially looking for any longs if I could see a break over this trend line, right? We didn't get that, so I never got involved in this. Price melted. Who cares? I'm not losing money, right? But I want to point out something. So old me would have looked for a demand zone. Okay, you probably do this. Looked for a demand zone and been like, okay, well, when price comes back into this demand zone, I'm going to long it, right? Which is all, well and good. And then I would have, I'm just talking from experience here. As price came in, I would have probably been on a 5 minute or 1 minute. I would have watched these candles develop. I probably would have saw this and been like, okay, I'm in. Stop below here. And I'm stopped out. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's keep watching. Oh, okay. This is interesting. All right, we broke back over. Maybe I'm back in here. Stop below down here. Or this candle. Maybe I'm like, oh, I like that. Stop below here. Bam. Taken out. Right. And then just getting decimated. Right. So just want to point out, it's so beneficial to be trading this way where instead of waiting for price to come back into something and then long it and try and pick a bottom and hopefully get a push after, I'd much rather grab price kind of as it's already doing that. You know what I mean? So, I'm only getting involved if price starts to break this and starts to push up, and trading this way saves you so many losses like this, and you might make demand zones work in this fashion. Like, I still respect demand zones. I still use them, but I use kind of the trend break as like a little bit of a rule in a way. And like, even if price kind of came out of the demand zone and came up to here, and then there was a setup like here and it was just below this trend line, sure, I probably would have taken that. But I'm not like trying to pick bottoms within demand zones anymore. Like, even on gold today, man, it happened. Like, exactly what I'm describing happened. This is a demand zone right here. It looks a little different, but this is a demand zone. Like, maybe if I go to a 4 hour or something, it's going to look cleaner, but not even. But still, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to look clean for it to be a demand zone that makes sense. If you kind of understand how they work, right? You can see that this push came out of here. There's likely leftover orders sitting in here. Right? It's honestly right there. Here. Let's humor you. Demand zone. Right? Perfect. Look at that perfect little demand zone right there. And look where price bounced. On it. I'm not trying to pick these bottoms. You can. Go for it. But there's also the chance that this just goes right through and pushes your poop back into your body, right? And we don't really care for that. We want that. Okay, confluence. Then this break. Great. Extra confluence. And now we're hoping to get the push, right? So just kind of pointing out the trading with the direction that price is moving, grabbing it on the way up instead of trying to pluck a bottom, right? That's kind of, I had a lot nicer time trading when I stopped trying to do that. And listen, if you get a lot out of these videos and you want to subscribe, oh, I'd love that. Please do that. And if you haven't checked out my other stuff, check it out. I'm just trying to help you. I'm not selling you anything. I'm just giving you information, like I wish people did to me when I started, giving me the real information, not the fake information. But okay, have a great night. All right. So what happened? Well, I'll tell you. I stayed up till the wee hours, up until about midnight, trailing this trade and walking you through it live, and then I lost all the footage. So now I'll kind of just go through everything after the fact 2 days later. So we did re-enter, when the night session opened back up. And I have my little rule where I don't move my stop until we're at about 4R, right, in profit. So once this was the 4R from this entry here. Once we saw this little high break here, ba-bang, that's when I move my stop to break even, okay? And then we just wait and see what else we can, what other structure we can take advantage of. Because ultimately, I like to trail structure. So if something creates consolidation and then pushes, that's my new stop loss area. Let it do its thing, push, new stop loss. And that's how I trail. And the best thing I want to see is consolidation, a liquidity grab below it, and then a push above that high. Once this high clears, then my stop's here. Some refer to this as a protected low. It's a little bit less likely that price will ever come back down here unless the move is over. This, it's like it could come right back down and grab and go. I mean, anything can happen, but this is just kind of, I'd prefer this than this. But whatever, we trail what the market will let us trail. So, little consolidation push, move stop to break even. We wait. Consolidation with a high break. Awesome. Stops now at that low. Again, push. Stop is now at this low. And this spot right here was the New York session high. And notice how price just ripped above that. Once it broke, because people probably shorted this thinking, ooh, double top. And what did that do? It supplied liquidity to create a push, right? And, 5 minutes. Sorry, guys. Okay. So now we're here. Stop below. Got really ugly up here as we approached target 1 here. Got real ugly. None of this is clean, nice, easy trailing structure, anything. Okay. So I kind of just had to make do because I had to move my stop somewhere, right? So we sort of got a little bit of this. This started pushing. I just put it there. A little bit of this. Little break. Moved it there. Right. You could argue maybe I should have put my stop here, but who cares, right? Price pushed into our target area. I was hoping we'd slice through this like butter and move up to the final area there where I probably would have just taken it off, but did not. Ultimately came down, stopped me out right here. Okay. And so that ended up being something like 12R, right? From this entry. And remember me saying this entry was super, super tight risk on the 1 minute. So that's about 12R for that. But, dude, I actually didn't, since this was such tight risk, this was actually less than my normal risk size, okay? And if I take into account my normal risk size, this is actually about a 6R trade, a 6R win, okay? When I get stopped out right here. And ultimately, the next day, price did go up into our final target, and we got stopped out right here. So if you, and again, I'm not telling you how to trade. I'm showing you how I trade. And you could have a system where when price gets up into your target wick area or whatever you target, you have a limit order there and you're out, So that would have made me more money, right? But I like to trail in case I can get the extra push. Furthermore, you could be the type that just leaves your stop loss where it initially was, which was down here, or like just moves it to break even at some certain point and then never moves it again until you hit your final target. Because then we ultimately did get the final target before price just died, right? So it all comes back to how you want to manage your trades. You can do it any way you want. But I trailed it. I got stopped out about right here, 6R. So we took this break one day, the day prior, I mean. I got a -1 and a break even, so -1. And then on here, I got about a +1, and then the market closed, reopened it overnight, and got about a +6, so +7, minus the 1, plus 6. On those 2 days, I ended up plus 6. So, like, that ain't so bad, dude. Why can't I draw? Wow. Plus 6 right in this area. Not bad, brother. Not bad. You know, and things are kind of getting ugly now. And so now I'm hands off. Now I don't have to do anything. You know? I don't know what this is going to do. This is pretty serious. And now these are all crossing, right? So we're just going to wait and see what happens. You know, does price come just below this and then just start ripping? Or is this the start of price just starting to bleed down? We don't know yet. So we're going to wait. And cool, man. So that's that trade. I hope that was helpful. People seem to be confused by how I trade, so I'll just keep kind of making these, and it'll hopefully start to clear it up. All right. Have a great evening.